find a good starting place. I mean, we can talk about contracts. We can talk about what kind of legacy run this is. I mean, just not even talk about the finals. What we did in the Eastern Conference is, I mean, we dog walked everybody, and everybody counted us out.
Dude, so
everybody counted us out.
I want to start this off with a Tyrese
Let's
Haliburton
go.
quote, and this was before the playoffs. He said, "This year, I think we have real expectation to do something special, and when I say something special, I mean championship."
I remember that.
Okay, yeah. So
I remember it.
I want to hear
People
your
laughs.
No, I want to hear your take on it in a second.
Sure.
I still remember how I felt when I read this for the first time. My first thought was like, "Oh, this is like really cool because you should like."
Of course, this is how you should think.
Yeah. This like you're like aim high, but I was also thinking I was like, I don't know, this is a championship here because like I knew where our seeding was. We'd have to beat. And at the time, it looked like we'd have to beat the Cavs and Celtics.
Yeah.
And the Western Conference.
Yeah, I was fully ready to play the Celtics.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure we made like. I'm sure the coaches had like Celtics. Like, all right, when we play the Celtics, this is how we're gonna play. I'm sure like they thought they were gonna play the Celtics.
And like I was fully bought in on we are a contender, but I'm realistic enough to know that Celtics and Cavs are huge contenders too.
Yeah.
So like beating them both is a tall task.
Yeah.
And I guess in some way we did.
You know, it's hard to say like, oh, you know, you're kind of gassing yourself up thinking you're supposed to be here, but I think it's totally fine for us to sit back and go, no, we deserve to be here. Last season we were here.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were somewhere we weren't before. So we were in the Eastern Conference last season. So when we made it back, and we're not playing the Celtics, who in my head are, even if the Cavs, I'm like in my head, I'm like the Celtics dog walked us.
That's the real team.
That's the real team. So as soon as we beat the Cavs, and I was still confident we were going to beat the Cavs, but as soon as we beat the Cavs, honestly, I got a real big chip on my shoulder. The Cavs, the number one seed point.
Yeah, and I don't care what people say about injuries. For real, what it came down to, the only game that like really mattered, they had 3 players out, game 2, and they were up 20 at one point, and we came back and won. So I mean, it's hard to win NBA games.
Yes.
It's just like straight up hard.
Playoff games.
Yeah, it is
not
very
easy.
hard in the playoffs. And when people try to like discredit this or whatever, I look back, and this is how I know we're so much better of a team.
Yeah.
Last year we went to Game 7 with the Knicks.
Yeah.
And like I'll very much say like they were very injured or whatever, right?
They're injured.
This year they got better. They got Cat.
Yeah.
Everybody was healthy, and we beat them in 6.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more proof you need that like this team is like not last year's team.
Yeah.
Like we are very much
beat the Knicks so bad they are trying, and you talk about this, that they're trying to figure out a way to get Giannis.
Yeah. And firing their coach.
And firing their coach. So no.
Yeah. Which it's even funnier too because their coach has been like friends. Yeah, has been friends with Jalen Brunson's dad. He's known Brunson since like 3.
Yeah.
So like initially when I read that, I was like, oh, Brunson must have won him out, but like no, probably.
Did you hear
not.
the quote? Did you watch any of the post games?
Oh yeah, I saw what Brunson said.
Brunson said, for y'all to know, a reporter asked him kind of a shitty question, to be honest. He's like, do you think that your coach is essentially the guy who's going to take you where? You know, he asked him if he was confident with his team. He's like, of course. I believe he took a pay cut for his team. Then he goes, okay, well, do you think your coach will get there? He's like, he looked at the reporter like, are you seriously asking me your coach? That's a crazy question right now. So then next day they fire him. So I mean, what are you gonna do? But yeah, where are we?
I'll transition off this. I think a good transition is I definitely agree with the firing because I think his style of playing heavy minutes is just not the modern NBA anymore.
Yes.
And I do think I said this before the playoffs started too, and it's even more apparent now. And Miles Turner said it as well. Is the Pacers and the Thunder are the new blueprint of the league of like it's no more about like how stacked can you get your 5.
Yes.
It's way more about like how stacked can you get your like 8-10.
Yeah, it's not about whatever big 3. It's not top heavy. Yeah. It's not top heavy.
The top heavy teams just like don't even make it. Like the Suns, like they didn't even make playoffs.
The Nets, I think when the Nets super team fell apart, to me, that was like an end of an era kind of thing. Like the super team is done. If you put it essentially some version of a prime KD, Harden, and Kyrie together, and they're stinking the bed up. What else can we do?
And the Supermax makes it so sketchy in the sense of, for instance, a player like Cade Cunningham. He got all NBA. He will get the Supermax, very deserving or whatever.
Yes.
But you never. That's like a 5-year contract. That Supermax.
Yeah.
You never know. He could be injured 3 of those years, and like you're fucked. Or maybe he starts to slow down, and maybe he's already like peaked or whatever, and you're like also like fuck.
Right.
All right.
But yeah, no. Go ahead.
And the last thing I want to say too about us both making it, we're the new blueprint. Both teams under the luxury. That says something. I think that says something.
I think that, obviously it's out of the old, which is having like a top-heavy big three, pay your starting five as much as possible, to more, like you said, play your top 8, play your top 10, etc. I think we took this blueprint, both us and them, from the Spurs.
Yeah.
What they call them, the beautiful basketball or whatever, Spurs or whatever.
Yeah.
The Spurs, it's team ball. It's the epitome of team ball. It's really just team ball and the power of friendship, trademark.
And I'd almost put the similarity, and I don't know if they've ever been compared before, but Tyrese Haliburton and Tim Duncan, who are both crazy high-level All-NBA players.
Yeah.
But
they're underrated.
Yes, but they're both underrated and always don't put the stat lines. Usually when you think the best player on a finals team, you're thinking that guy scores 30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even with Haliburton's 20 and 10s or whatever, it can still be underwhelming. Same thing with Turner. It's so easy to underrate him when he ends the games 3 rebounds. Dude, I think in the Knicks series there was 3 different games where he ended 3 rebounds or less. Yeah. And this is why I'm Lakers fans could not handle this. They could not handle.
Can we talk about how good it feels that what did you feel when it came out Tyrese Haliburton is the most overrated player in the entire league? And in my head, I need nothing. I'm of course he's not. Duh. And then the best thing about it is the narratives. In the very beginning, the narrative was of course he's overrated. Look at this, blah blah blah. He's had a 2-point stinker game. He done this, blah blah blah. And then Tyrese goes, I took that person. He had an MJ moment. And then look at the explosive running. It's so fulfilling.
So if you want to pull up your Eastern Conference MVP graphics you have
votes. So who's your MVP? Who is your MVP?
Okay. So
Grant Mitchell, who's your MVP?
So that night, right then and there, I was it's Haliburton signing close.
It's Haliburton.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
But this is why there's 2 reasons I'm okay going to Siakam.
Yeah.
One, I think he deserved it enough because here's a very interesting stat, all right?
Yeah.
Only one player for the Pacers scored 30 points in the Eastern Conference Finals. Only one player did that, and it was Siakam, and he did it 3 times. All right, and he didn't have one stinker game. His lowest game was 17 points. All right, so that's why I'm semi okay with going to him. I still think Haliburton deserves it more, but I'm okay with going to him. My second reason I'm okay with it going to him is I think you're probably a big believer in this team.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer, and I think that the reason we succeeded or Haliburton succeeded so much is because that overrated thing. I think he was on a mission, and I think he is absolutely happy for Siakam. I don't think there's any resentment. I don't think he's any blah blah blah. But I do think he'll be going in that finals they're still underrated. And I love that.
We're still underrated. Look, everybody in here. Okay, we know how we feel. But when you talk to your friend, if you're an Indy, okay, obviously great. You talk to anybody, it's all Pacers love. Okay, we're in Southern Indiana. Okay, so there's a lot of non-believers. But when the average person I talk to goes, "Oh, you're in the finals. Happy you made it here, but it was great while it lasted." Am I right? Yeah. I'm what are you talking about? What do you thought we made it here?
So my rebuttal to that, when I'm here, I don't believe this at all. I sincerely don't. When I hear all this OKC, I've heard this from multiple big name sources. OKC is top 10 team of all time. Okay. Let me stop you there. Why don't
if they are, we are. That's all I'm saying.
Why don't believe that? To be a top 10 team of all time, I think you have players who have done it before. You know what I'm saying? Going to your first finals, and that's a big reason why OKC doesn't scare me that much is because it's their first finals. Every other time the Pacers have had a chance to get to this level, you got stopped by prime Michael Jordan, prime LeBron, and when we finally made the finals, we got stopped by prime Kobe and Shaq. So no, I'm not scared of OKC. I'm just not, dude. I'm just not. Compared to all those,
Lou Dort ain't shit.
Yeah.
Lou Dort ain't shit.
Also, what was it?
But who's your MVP? Who's your MVP? Your MVP is Haliburton?
Haliburton.
And then
I don't mind Siakam getting it now that I've settled on it more, but Haliburton, alone that his clutch shot, beyond, all-time clutch shot. Yeah,
which clutch shot? All of them?
No, the next one that bounced.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's a
all-time.
That's an all-time highlight.
And his triple-double was also all-time.
I would say that no part of me is uncomfortable with the idea of Pascal Siakam getting the finals MVP. He is such a great great player. He is such an important piece of our team. He has regularly been our highest scorer. He's regularly been the most consistent guy on our team. It's hard, especially because we watch all the games, and we know a lot of you guys watch all the games. It's hard for us to go, we know the overall impact. Even when Haliburton has a quote-unquote stinker game, he's contributing a lot. You know what I mean? It's hard that you can't put that contribution on paper a lot of the times, but he always keeps our offense moving.
Yeah, and that's a big reason too why I think he should have won the MVP.
Yeah,
is because the whole team is designed around him.
Yeah.
Like we picked up Obi Toppin, Bruce Brown, Siakam because they were good with what Haliburton was doing.
Yes,
you know, like the whole thing is like built around him.
Yeah.
So unless Haliburton like just stinks the bed like the whole time, whatever, it should almost like guarantee. Even if he didn't have his historic of a time he did, you could take 3 points away and an assist and a half away. I would still think it'd go to Haliburton because like he is the engine. He's what makes everything move. Everything's built around him.
You know, every great player has some type of a weakness, and like everybody you can go across blah blah blah. Like, but it's funny because Haliburton he's genuinely overall really good. He like you can see in every series, he just has one game where it's like he's just turned off.
Yeah,
everything is turned off.
Well, and that's why.
But the rest he's cooking.
That's why I'm very glad that Siakam won the East Conference MVP, because if Haliburton does care about the Finals MVP, and to be honest with the Pacers, I'm not going to guarantee they care.
Yeah.
But if Haliburton does care,
yeah,
I think the one thing he's going to think of, why did I get that East Conference MVP? Right. I had one off game.
Yes.
So he's going to go into the Finals knowing
with that fuel.
Yeah.
Clearly being the underdog and being overlooked fuels him. Being not getting the MVP is the best fuel for him.
Yeah. Beyond that too, of like if I have one game where I'm not aggressive, I'm not winning.
Yeah.
So like if he wants that, he's gonna have to come out aggressive. And I've talked about this before. I'll live and die with the results if he's aggressive. Don't care if he shoots 3 for 28 and we lose. I'll accept that. You know what
I know what you mean.
That's a little over-exaggerated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yes. Now, just to cap off, there was, I guess, 9 voters. 4 of them voted Haliburton, 5 voted for Pascal. I think the only name that I know, there's a bunch of like articles or people on there. The one name on here is Reggie Miller. Do you know who you voted for?
Haliburton.
So, I think to be pretty, you know what I mean? And it's kind of funny because I keep on seeing like all these butthurt Bucks, Cavs, especially Knicks fans who go, Reggie Miller is biased when he's commentating, which
of course,
of course.
Dude,
they knew what they were doing when they made him the commentator. I mean, duh.
Yeah,
because didn't he present one of the awards or whatever?
It would sincerely be inauthentic if he was just like completely not.
Let's be completely real.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
like
everybody knows the Indiana story.
Exactly,
You know what I mean? Like no ring.
If they had Patrick Ewing, I would not be
mad.
Why is he liking the Knicks? Like, he likes the Knicks.
No.
So next I want to talk about
real quick, just to throw it in there, with the Knicks. The last thing is Andrew. If people keep on going, who's going to guard Shea? Who's going to guard SGA? You're going to get swept. It's all over. Well, Andrew Nembhard held Jalen Brunson to 38% shooting from the field and 30% for the 3 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Everybody keeps on saying how good Jalen Brunson. Well, why can't he do it to SGA? That's the last thing I want to talk about the Knicks. What do you think? Isn't that crazy?
No. So here's why it's crazier is because why would we be scared of SGA as Pacers fans? Dude, we literally had Giannis drop 40 on us every night.
Oh my, we've done worse. He's the MVP, but we've had worse.
Then we had Donovan Mitchell. He dropped 30, 40 on us every night.
Yes.
Then we played Brunson and Cat. They dropped 20 to 40 on us every night too.
Yes.
So you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
It will almost just be normal. Like, no Pacers player is going to see SGA go off on 40 and just be like, we can't stop him. They just accept that, like, your top scorer is probably going to do it.
Our offense
is
the best in the league.
Well,
it's the best in the league.
Like,
it's number 1 in the playoffs.
What scares me, like, actually is like your all-around team. Your top player of SGA, I don't think any Pacer has any thought of like, all right, how are we going to stop him? We're not.
You're not.
We're not. Like 100%.
Your goal is to not give him and once.
And not,
that's your real goal.
And not just because like it's SGA. It's because like with the big stars or whatever, like we just let them like score a bunch. So like it's the same thing before we went against the Bucks. I was like, I'm just already accepting Giannis is going off every night. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel with like SGA. So like it doesn't like scare me because like this has been every round we're facing like a prolific score and a prolific free throw merchant. Like
our offense has beaten the whistles so far. Giannis got an and 1 foul, whatever, every single single time he drive. Donovan Mitchell was probably worse than Brunson. Every time Donovan Mitchell got the ball, he would just jump. And Brunson, oh my God, Brunson with he's a flop, kung fu, black belt, jiu-jitsu master. We beat him. We can handle Shea. We can handle him.
If SGA is like number one free throw merchant, Brunson's for
number
sure
2, Donovan's 3.
Donovan, I'll say is top 5, but he might be 3.
And Giannis, I won't even disrespect Giannis. He's not really a free throw merchant. The nigga's 6'2". You can't stop him.
6'2".
Or 7'2", whatever. I mean, yeah, he's literally Giannis is an athletic, physical monster who, he is probably genuinely getting fouled because what are you gonna do? But yeah, anyway.
All right, so my next question is, who do you think is the Pacers' biggest X factor during this finals?
Starters, non-starters?
Anybody in a Pacers team?
I mean, that's a loaded question because it's kind of Haliburton in a way.
I have an answer if you want to think about it first.
Let me just talk a little shit. It's kind of Haliburton because he can give you literally one of the best stat lines that ever happened in a playoff game, and then he can give you a stinker. That's kind of an X factor, but to me, you know what it really is? It's kind of Naismith, just because of how well he shoots. Some games he's on, sometimes he's off. I saw a stat.
This playoff run he has not been on.
No, he hasn't. But like
But we have to ask the question because right now, as it stands, he's the best playoff 3-point shooter.
He's not an X factor. He's not an X factor.
And like I will say I'll give you credence on this of like you got to ask yourself like keep doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
It's not like he has a Steph reputation. Like it's never happened like this.
It's Nimbard or Mathurin.
Okay.
I know it's one of those two for you. Who is it?
It's neither of those.
What?
Neither of those. No, I'll come out with it. I think the biggest X factor in this matchup is Rick Carlisle. So I say that for two big reasons. One, OKC takes our greatest advantage we have against most teams, which is our pace and our depth.
Yeah, they have a good pace.
OKC can match that pace. Yeah. They can match that depth.
Yeah.
But the thing that's impressed me the most about this playoff run is Rick Carlisle seeming to make all the right decisions.
Yeah.
Like there's been not too many times, but there's been like 3 times where I'm like, Carlisle, what are you doing? And he like it ends up being like the right decision. Or him leaving in like certain players at like when I think they should be like taken out and like that player like continues to like go off. Or he's had an amazing coaching run.
Yes.
And on his 2011 when he got like brought the Mavs there or whatever, he also had to like over like I would almost say every single round the Mavs played, they played a team on paper was better.
This is poetic in the sense that we have Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle was the coach of the 2011 Mavericks team of Dirk Nowitzki, who got the ring against literally all odds. Everybody counted them out basically the entire run.
They just faced the Thunder, the Lakers, the Clippers,
Heat,
and then the Heat at the end.
Bro, what round of the playoffs has the majority of people not thought not only were we going to lose, but we were going to get hurt bad? What round was it not bad? Every single round we get this. So it's the same thing. Not only that, we have the same coach with similar circumstances. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, the Pacers have 3 road wins this postseason when trailing by 15 points. Nuts. The only other team to do that in the last 20 years. Take it, guys.
Rick Carlisle Mavericks.
2011 Mavericks, also coached by, and guess who won the ring that year?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is poetic.
And when we first hired Carlisle, my biggest sentiment was he's a perfect coach because we're never gonna be the team that like wins it because we got like LeBron, Curry, and Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Like that's never gonna be us.
No.
Like if we win the championship, we're as underdogs. Like there's never a scenario where we're like the top dog. You know what I'm saying? And like
this is one of the best underdog runs of all time already.
And
already.
No. And you would say the second best, or maybe the one that's above us, is the Mavs, with both Rick Carlisle and
top 3, no debate, zero debate.
So like he is the perfect coach for us because we needed somebody like this. Something else I heard from Rick Carlisle that I really liked, and I think we've all heard Miles Turner's quote of like the power of friendship.
Yeah.
So he actually referenced this of how he used the power of friendship, and I'm like, man, this culture is so good. He says that all the assistants and scouts, I forget exactly what it was, but like if they do a certain thing, then you get to draw up the first play of the game. Whoever, which I think just like energizes everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I don't remember exactly like what the criteria is, but say like, I don't know, you're a point guard coach and the point guards are like really good. You get to like do it. It motivates you to do it because then like you get to tell your family this first play, it's gonna be my play.
Right. It's right on you.
Yeah,
and you're not gonna put a BS play out there. You're like, I'm gonna make sure it's on point.
I love the full cultureness of it. Like it's not just like the players and the coaches.
We take the guys that are bit seriously. When I mean, like if Pookie Johnson on the Knicks came to the Tibbs and went, hey man, you might probably make this first play. They'd say, take your black ass back to the G League where you belong. If you ever have a dumb thought like that again, you know what I mean? Like
I'm pretty sure too. He said one of these playoff games he let like TJ McConnell draw. You know, I'm like, that's so cool. Like I feel like it keeps like the NBA season fun because it is so long. Yeah. Like to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, to get back there the next year, Siakam had a video before the season where he was, you know, that camp. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he had a camp where all the players showed up, and the video he posted, he said, hey, if we want to get back there, it's going to be 3 times harder. And like, I feel like that's 100% like legit. Yeah. You have to get better and you have to try so much more just to like meet your same.
This is a harder run than last year, hands down.
Yeah.
Maybe besides the conference, but arguably, I think the Celtics last year are probably better than the Knicks this year. Yeah. But regardless, it's still harder overall, you know.
So I want to go on some some may say is some crazy Haliburton glaze. All right.
Oh, now's the time for the glaze.
So man. I'm going to read you off all these stats, and you can pick any of them to kind of like discuss.
Sure.
They're all here too if you want to do. So Haliburton has 63 assists in the conference final. Only other player to do that, Magic Johnson.
Oh my God.
Players that average 21, 10, 6 in conference finals, Magic, LeBron, Jokic, Haliburton. And I'm gonna brush over this real quick.
Yeah.
Future MVP. All right. Only players that average 20 points, 10 assists, 2 steals in a playoff. Magic Johnson, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Haliburton. Okay. Now it's okay. Good.
Yeah. Okay.
So those first 3, pick one of those you want to talk about.
Can I just draw the obvious conclusion from all 3 of these real quick?
Yeah. Go for it.
His biggest comparison is Magic Johnson, who is roughly regarded as one of the best point guards of all time. Generally, people say Magic Johnson or Steph Curry. Generally, it's one of the 2.
But like it's a thing of like, all right, if we're just considering anybody at point guard, Steph Curry's better. If we're thinking about like what is a point guard,
right.
Magic is better. You know what I'm talking about? Right.
So that's good company. Whether you want to put him in 1, 2, 3 slot or none of them, just being in that conversation alone.
Personally, hot take. Personally, I would rather my point guard be compared to Magic Johnson than Steph.
Probably because Magic Johnson's more of a pure point guard. Yeah. Steph is a dominant scorer.
So many of these stats now, especially these playoff stats that we've seen through all this, every one he's compared to are MVP.
Yeah.
It's like Nash, Magic, LeBron, Jokic,
That
Westbrook,
was
Harden.
That was before the time of the big man MVP. And like, I don't know if I'd ever give Hallie MVP over Jokic
Here's the reason I say future MVP talk. I will say it would be hard for me to imagine a scenario where I'm looking at Haliburton and Jokic stats and be like Haliburton.
Yes.
But there's 2 things. One, there's always a scenario of like Russell Westbrook won like the MVP's got the triple-double, but really he wasn't MVP.
Right.
I wonder if Haliburton might be able to get something similar in the sense of his high assist, low turnover thing.
Yeah.
Like, if he averaged 25, 12, and like less than 2 turnovers, that's at least an MVP.
For the entire season, last season, before he got injured, he peaked at number 6 on the MVP list. Yeah. And there was a lot of talk on like social media talking about, Tyrese is easily the best point guard in the East, maybe top 5 in the league. Now, to me, who's a better point guard in the East?
Nobody.
Brunson wouldn't have gotten us here. No. Brunson wants to hold the ball for out of the 24 seconds, he wants to hold it for 18. That's not going to get you there.
Dude, I'm
just not even hate. That's facts.
That's the exact opposite of what a point guard is.
Opposite.
I'm not going to fully hate on Brunson in this sense of that. I think he could, not as good as Haliburton, but he could run a similar Haliburton offense. I think a lot of it is like Tibbs being like, this is how I want you to play.
The offense goes through you.
But with 2 playoff series back to back, we like beat you. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't want to hear any excuses.
Yeah. And bias aside, aside too, and like hate aside too, a lot of Brunson's offense is built off of a flop in the sense that like he not necessarily that he tries to flop super hard, but he does get the whistle a lot, and he knows that.
Yeah.
So when you know that, why would you not lean into it? You know how many times you can hit like that? Whoa!
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't even think this is a hot take, but I'll say it's a hot take. Is Haliburton not the best in the entire MVP or NBA ethical hooper?
Yeah, it depends what you call ethics.
Really, I'm just going down to
playing the game by the position it's supposed to be played at.
No. Two big things. He's not a free throw merchant.
No, not at all.
And he's not a high turner.
Yes, we know that. That's why we love him. But
like, if I guess you could put Jokic in that conversation, but two, like, also if the only player beating you is Jokic, I'm happy.
That's great company to be in.
Yeah, like Jokic will be like in 25 years, people look at Jokic like the way we look at Will.
Yes.
Yeah, like for real.
He's probably one of the closest things. But yeah, no, it's all those stats. It's just great company to be in. Haliburton's been the most efficient player the playoffs have ever seen. Period. I mean, let's be real. Overall efficient. When you include the low amount of turnovers,
the thing I would push back on that is I would say someone like Magic Johnson probably has a similar turnover assistant. I know he has a similar one. I don't know how.
Okay, sure. But, maybe that's a reach.
But he may also have more efficient shooting. I'm not sure.
Sure.
But I would definitely say he's probably a top.
I mean, just talking about that game, 4 performance, whatever he. I mean, that stat line with the 30 plus, the 15, whatever, the 12. That's one of the best single performances in the conference finals of all time. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I mean after that, it was like the only players who like done something like that. It was like LeBron, Jokic, Westbrook.
Yeah.
Which is like Westbrook's just like triple double God. Jokic is God.
God. Yeah.
And like LeBron's like God.
He's God's God.
Yeah. It's like Haliburton. Every time I see the only other player to do this is this player, it's never like Trevor. It's always like one of the top 10.
They're never like, who else did this? Haliburton and
Isaiah Thomas.
Nokeem Yoa or whatever. It's always like, one of the best players of all time. So
the last kind of point I want us to talk about, unless you have anything else, is just kind of like the matchup versus the Thunder.
Yeah.
Here's my kind of steam.
We're not getting swept.
We're definitely not getting swept. Here's two of my steaming hot takes. One, I think we win game one. I'm very confident in that.
We're winning 1 or 2, no doubt.
Two, SGA, because it's the finals and the NBA media has heard so much of like, this is the worst finals, blah, blah, blah. That reputation would only go up if Shea gets his free throw merchant shit, right?
Yes.
They may not give him that free throw call. And if you take away that free throw call, all of a sudden the gap closes a lot.
Yeah. The top 4 people left in the playoff who get like the most whistle calls are all on OKC.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I think if your take is that this is going to be a bad viewership finals, then you just straight up don't know ball. If you hear someone say, everybody says that, look at him in his eyes and say, you don't know ball. Let's just be real. This is one of the most exciting finals in a long time. Obviously, we're Pacers fans, but it's pure basketball.
But beyond that, I would judge you so hard. We're watching any game at all. We're watching a college football game, and you were like, "Hey, can you turn this off?" I bet the ratings aren't that good.
Yeah, shut up.
Dude, what? It's like a back.
You're not gonna watch it?
Blah blah blah. Like, don't care at all about the ratings.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell me at the end of the series it's the worst ratings finals at all,
right?
Don't care.
Did you see that game 1 of the Knicks Pacers series had 1.1 thousand less viewers in the Super Bowl, which is the most basically of all time.
Yeah.
That tells you something.
Yeah.
I've said I'll leave us, and this has been talked a lot about, but we haven't really touched on it. Is Tyrese Haliburton a superstar? Be as objective as possible. Is Tyrese Haliburton a superstar?
I would say it's an easy yes, and I could go a lot of reasons, but I'll dumb it down to this. If in the last 5 years you're the best player on your team and you lead your team to the finals, yours.
Yes.
It's almost like as simple as that. There's a lot of other things I could put out there. I mean, he made All-NBA, should have made All-Star. I mean, think about making All-NBA after the horrific start he had over. But you make All-NBA, you win 3 rounds of the playoffs, you make the finals, you're clearly the best guy, you're making clutch shots, there's nothing more you can do.
I Googled it, okay? What is a superstar? This is Google. first result. A high-profile and extremely successful performer, or athlete is Tyrese Haliburton super.
I mean, let me put it in this perspective too. If Haliburton was on the Lakers, this isn't a discussion.
Oh my God.
Not a discussion at all. Not one, I sincerely believe this, not one person in the NBA, if Tyrese Haliburton did everything he just did for the Pacers and the Lakers, not one person special.
Here's one more. Someone who has achieved significant fame and success in their field, typically due to exceptional talent, popularity, and public appeal. The only thing I won't give him on that, and that's not me not giving him, is public appeal, because there's a lot of haters out there, especially if you live in Milwaukee, if you live in New York, or you're a lot of haters. But to me, definition or not, like the literal definition or not, Tyrese Haliburton is a goddamn superstar. And that's contract player. Take us all the way.
The NBA Finals.
Woo! We did it. We'll be at Game 4. Yeah, I'm bankrupt. I have no money left. You know why? Because I'm going to Game 4.
And if it goes to Game 7,
we're good. Oh my God. Well, if
OKC trip, dude. It's all right.
We're good.
All right, that's all.
Shout out. Thank you. No, I'm good. Thank y'all for showing love. Shout out to 3 Point Threat. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Joey and them. Shout out to ZTV. We appreciate y'all.